Oh, there we go. Good morning. We are looking at a two-sided worksheet. You can find it on Google Classroom, having to do with perimeter, multiplying monomials, combining like terms. All right. If I could have your attention up here, we're looking at the perimeter side of the next sheet for today. We're working with our shapes still, and perimeter and area still, but we're starting to look at expressions, and because we're looking at algebra type expressions, we need to be clear on how to multiply when needed, like area is going to be base times height, and combine like terms. So the first side is only on perimeter. And one thing that they show you, for example, figure A, is they go ahead and just write out a big long expression as they work their way around the sides. Okay, so the first they have a 3x, that would be this side. Then they have an x plus 2, that would be another side. And here's another side, here's another side. So those four sides have been written as one huge addition problem. Within that addition problem, I put parentheses so that you could see the different sides. But if all you have is addition and there's no multiply to distribute, you're ready to combine like terms. When we're combining like terms, not really a fan of this blue. Here's my x's. 3x plus x, 3x plus x, for a total of 8 x's. And then for the numbers, you've got a 2 right here and a 2 right there, for a total of 4. So now let's take a look at B. The first thing that you're going to do is write the expression. I've got an x plus 6 here. I have an x plus 1 on the bottom, and another x plus 6. Martine, how many total x's do I have? 3x. And then if I look at numbers, there's a 6, a 1, and another 6. Thank you. All right. Yeah. I guess I put it over on a different table. Okay. So the perimeter side, all you do is adding, but as you add, you'll be combining some like terms. The other side. Flip it over. There's a couple different kinds of problems on this other side. Let's look at the area half first. Area, they're showing us rectangles on the right-hand side of the page, and length times width, or we've been calling it base times height. One thing to know is when you were adding x's, you did not change the exponent. But if you're multiplying, you do. So multiplying, new rule. When we're multiplying, you add whatever the exponent is if you have two things with the same base. So this is going to be 2, and then x times x is x squared. If we look at it in terms of our shape A, let's see, can I make it big enough to see? Shape A is right here. The two sides are 3x and 5x. They show you that right here in a little multiply problem set up. When we're multiplying this 5xy and that 3x, we're going to do it in parts. The 5 and the 3, the coefficients in front, multiply first to make 15. The x and the x multiply to make x squared. And then this y doesn't have anybody to multiply, so its exponent won't change, but you'll still see it in the final answer. Let's take a look at B. How are we going to set up our problem? What's the length and width of shape B?
4A.
4A and 4A. When we're multiplying length times width, what's 4 times 4?
8.
16. And what's A times A?
A squared.
A squared. All right. So you'll do a couple more of those area problems on this side of the page. Distributive. Left-hand side of the page is another type of multiply. It looks like in the top half, actually in the bottom half too, the thing that's multiplying is a whole number. So you won't be changing any exponents. But when you distribute, one key is the number in front needs to multiply times both terms in the parenthesis. So, Andy, what would we get right here?
We would get 8x plus 16.
At this point, these two are not like terms, so that's as far as you can go. That would be your answer. As you move farther down, in the boxes at the bottom, there will be a simplify step after you're done. As a first step, you're going to do a distribute with the number that's in front of the parenthesis. This x is going to stay the same, so I'm going to rewrite it right here as an x. This 4 is going to multiply first times the x, and second times the negative 6. So my first step was to distribute. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm looking at 3 different terms and deciding which can I combine. How about this x and 4x?
Yes.
What happens when I combine those two?
You can make that their 5x.
5x. There's an invisible 1 here. So you're going 1 plus 4 is 5x minus 24. That's as far as we can go. That 24 does not have an x, so it's not a like term. So that would be the answer right here. So a couple different kinds of problems you're working on today. First, on one side, you're working with perimeters. And in the perimeters, you're combining like terms. It's all addition, so none of the exponents change, but you have to match up the right variable and the right exponent. Second, you'll be working on some area problems. You will need to multiply, and as you multiply variables, the exponents do change. Right, Andy? Good. Third thing you're working on is some distribute. All of the things that you have are whole numbers distributing into a parenthesis. So you're going to end up with an expression of 2 parts. And then lastly, you have a distribute and then later a simplify where you're looking for like terms. Questions? Okay. I'm going to let you work on that. I'm also going to pass out this week's homework packet. Yesterday, your worksheet, you guys had stuff to finish at home, so I didn't pass out the homework packet. But the homework packet is review of old tests and practice tests to help us start thinking back over old stuff we've done this semester, which will be covered on the final. Questions? All right.
Are you going to be due on Monday?
This sheet right here is due at the end of the class. That other packet, I'll look at how much it is and we'll talk to Ms. Morrell if it's due on Monday or if we're going to use it. It might be like 2 weeks worth of material. Okay.
Is it a pretty thick package?
It's a pretty thick packet, but it's all stuff you've done before. We'll see how long we think it's going to take you.
Mm.